Hi again, everybody, and welcome to In the Paint, presented by Dr. Karen Kramer. You may notice things look a little different this week. I'm Matt Douglas. Alongside me, Andy Bull Barch. How you doing, Bull?
Wonderful, Matt. I'm very glad to be here.
Good to have you here as well. Tim Alcorn not able to join us this week. He is out in Goodyear, Arizona, working, so to speak. I kid. Tim still working very hard while he's down there. He's got his phone on him, and we've been calling him during those Indians games to make sure he's not having too much fun down there. But nonetheless, when it comes to high school basketball up here in Northeast Ohio, Bull, it is tournament time. You and I have been busy on WEOL, out and around, calling the games for the radio, calling the games for the stream. And we've had some good ones. We'll start on the girls' side of things. Unfortunately, in Lorain County, things haven't been going so well for the girls' teams. Only 2 of them remain as of Wednesday. Elyria Catholic in action in the district semifinal. They will take on Lutheran West after Elyria Catholic claimed a big victory over Columbia 60-13 on Saturday. They advanced to that district title game. The fun thing about the one coming up on Wednesday, Lutheran West and Elyria Catholic have combined for 20 wins this season. So that should be a real good one. And then coming up on Thursday, it's the Division I Elyria Catholic District, which features Avon Lake taking on Olmsted Falls. And I know you had an opportunity to see Avon Lake earlier.
Yeah, and for a moment there, it looked like Amherst might punch their ticket into that game. Yeah. They really took it to Olmsted Falls, and they lost by 3 points. 44-41 was the final, but really Amherst was in control for a good chunk of that opening half. And then Avon Lake, boy, the Shore Gals were just terrific defensively in that win over Westlake. They held Westlake to 29 points, and they really kind of pulled away in the fourth quarter of that contest. And anytime you hold a team to 29 points, there are a lot of individual standouts defensively. Ariana Negron really kind of comes to the front of my mind. She was terrific in that game, their leading scorer, but the ball was in the hands of guard Amber Aklitis in that game quite a bit, and that was very important in the fourth quarter. Avon Lake, very few mistakes, very few turnovers. That helped them maintain their lead, and they won by double digits, and now they've got a tough task ahead as they take on Olmsted Falls.
Yeah, Olmsted Falls just one win in the or just one loss, I should say, in the SWC all through the regular season. That came to Avon. But as you pointed out, Avon Lake playing good basketball in the previous 2 meetings between them and Westlake. They'd been close games. And we talked about that chip the Lady Shore Gals might have had on their shoulder being put 3rd in that district bracket. Well, I think they proved they're a little bit better than some people might have thought with that big victory. And perhaps they exercised a couple of demons with that victory.
Oh, nicely done.
I knew you'd be proud of that one. For anyone who doesn't know, Bull is the master of the pun game. Well, that's girls basketball in Lorain County. As far as the boys' side goes, things really just got kicked off on Tuesday night. Few teams have already exited some tough losses, but a majority of teams getting some pretty good victories, including the Keystone Wildcats in their opening game against Cloverleaf in that Division II North Ridgeville district. Sophomore Sean Satterley, a tremendous game. Keystone's not a team that has one particular guy that puts up a lot of points, but sophomore Sean Satterley was that guy for them on Tuesday night, scoring 17 in that victory over Cloverleaf, allowing the Keystone Wildcats to move on. Their reward for winning that game, they get the 1 seed, Cleveland Central Catholic, in that Division II North Ridgeville district. So kind of out of the frying pan and into the fire perhaps with that one, but I know they're really, really excited about going up against that top seed. Other games of note in that North Ridgeville district, Fairview was a winner over Lutheran West, which means they will move on. They will take on Buckeye, who defeated Brookside. Now, that's important because Buckeye was the only team in the Patriot Athletic Conference who handed Fairview a loss in the regular season. So that Fairview team has been playing very good, but again, perhaps they're meeting up against their kryptonite in that one. And then a game I know you had as well last night, Clearview taking on Padua. It was the Javon Todd show.
Boy, he was terrific last night. And while he kind of stole the show, there were a lot of key contributors in that game for Clearview, and they won decisively. 89-54 was the final count in that game, but they outscored Padua 20-10 in the opening quarter. You never really got the sense that that game was ever in doubt. And then they doubled up on them again in the second quarter, outscoring Padua 26-13. They were very quick, active defensively. And Javon Todd, while he finished with 26 in that game, scoring, as strange as this might sound, seemed like it was secondary to him. Defensively, he was all over the place. He came away with a healthy chunk of steals, but he was also the primary facilitator on that team, finding his teammates wide open, really kind of triggering the attack and transition. Also, Javon Todd did just about everything in that win yesterday, and now they head into Friday night's game against Holy Name with a full head of steam. They've won 3 in a row now.
Yeah, we talked about the Shore Gals having a chip on their shoulder, being ranked 3rd in their district. Clearview was ranked 7th. I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for, and I think against Holy Name, they could really surprise some folks. I'm looking forward to that game. And then rounding out that Division II North Ridgeville district, Firelands eliminated from the postseason. They had a loss to Rocky River, 74-60. Firelands has been young here the last couple of years. Coach Januzzi, I know, will have that team up and moving, and they got some big things coming in the future for that Firelands team for sure. Over in the Division III Worcester District, Wellington was defeated by Smithville. Now, Wellington's had kind of an up-and-down season all year, and this game was no different. Wellington led this game 21-17 at the half. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold on. They ended up dropping that one by a final score of 49-45. So Wellington's been eliminated again from that Division III Worcester District. In the Division IV Norton District, this one a little interesting. Lorain County lost Oberlin to Cornerstone Christian in a 75-84 loss. Cornerstone Christian is the number 8 seed in there. They had 1 win all season, but it speaks to the type of schedule that Cornerstone Christian ended up playing. Lake Ridge also eliminated from that bracket in a loss to Rittman. 2 Lorain County teams do remain over there, though, the number 2 seed and the number 3 seed, Columbia and Open Door. They've got some big games coming up on Friday. Columbia will take on Dalton, and Open Door takes on Kidron Central Christian. So that should be a lot of fun as those games move on as well. Division III Mansfield Madison District. That one's interesting because it features Vermilion, and we've talked about this as well. Vermilion not in action. They've got a first-round bye. But Norwalk, who's the number 1 seed, took on Tiffin Columbian, the 13 seed. They won by just 6 points, Paul, to show you how tough that district really is.
Top to bottom,
Yeah.
I mean, really, it is one of the tougher districts in this area. There's no question about that. And I think you can certainly look at the seeds and think to yourself, how in the world do we come up with this, right? And I think for Vermilion, a lot of people believe they should have been higher than 3. And the top 2 teams in that particular district, Lexington, of course, a team that Vermilion's familiar with, and of course the top seed in Norwalk, they actually elected to be on the opposite side of the bracket from Vermilion. But, I mean, it is loaded from top to bottom, and Vermilion's going to have their hands full against the Shelby Whippets, no question about that.
Without a doubt. And as you mentioned, Shelby a winner over Sandusky, so we do know that's who Vermilion will play in that upcoming round. Meanwhile, in the D3 Garfield Heights District, that's the one that features Elyria Catholic. They had a first-round bye, so they're sitting back waiting. We do now know officially that Crestwood defeated Brooklyn, so they will take on Crestwood in the upcoming sectional championship on Saturday. Should be an interesting game as well for those 2 squads. All right, talked a little bit about the tournaments. As always, we name our Gymnasco Insurance Players of the Week. We usually pick a boys' side and a girls' side. Bull, since Tim's not here, he usually picks the boys' player of the week. I'll give those honors to you, sir.
Well, I'm going with Javon Todd of Clearview. He was really sensational on Tuesday night in that victory over Padua to punch their ticket to play the 2 seed in Holy Name on Friday night. We talked about how he was terrific all 4 quarters, very active defensively. He was the primary facilitator in that victory. But it goes beyond the scope of that win in tournament play. But they played shorthanded their last 2 games of the regular season. They beat up on Brooklyn a little bit in their season finale. But prior to that, I believe they only suited up about 7 or 8 kids in their upset victory over Vermilion. We just got done talking about how good the Sailors have been this season and how they probably should be seated a bit higher in their district. Well, Clearview defeated Vermilion shorthanded, and one of the reasons for that is Javon Todd. I mean, Todd has been sensational all throughout the course of the season. They've won 3 in a row, and really to kind of cap it all off, he had that huge game on Tuesday night and that 89-54 convincing victory over Padua. So Javon Todd gets the nod. He is my player of the week.
Yeah, he was the co-MVP of the Pack Stripes division a year ago. I mean, he picked right up where that left off from last season. Has been that good all year. And as you mentioned, not only shooting the ball, making the baskets, passing the ball, playing the defense, signs of a great point guard for sure. All right, so that is our boys Gymnasco Insurance Player of the Week. On the girls' side, Bull, I could have just left this to you as well because I followed one that was in one of the games you called. Ariana DeGrone from Avon Lake. We mentioned that chip they had on their shoulder. 2 close games against Westlake in the regular season. I think they won 1 by 3, lost 1 by 1, and then they come out and handed the Demons 44-29. Ariana Negron tremendous in that game, knocking down 20 points officially as Avon Lake picks up the victory and moves on to their first district title game in quite some time, where they'll meet another familiar opponent in the Olmsted Falls Bulldogs. So congratulations to Ariana Negron. She is my girls Janasco Insurance Player of the Week. And of course, if you're looking for insurance, Janasco Insurance is a tremendous place to go, whether you're looking for your business or for family or for your motorcycle. You've been out on the motorcycle, Bull?
Too cold for that these days, man.
Sure.
Maybe in a couple of months here when it heats up a little bit.
Yeah, I've not been good on 2 wheels, so I stay away from the motorized 2-wheel vehicles for sure. A lot coming your way on WEOL here in the coming days. To say we have a bevy of games would be a bit of an understatement. On Friday night, we've got a tremendous amount of games. Crestwood will take on Elyria Catholic. That game will be on the radio Friday night. Over on stream number 2, Columbia will play host to Dalton. And then on stream number 3, I'll actually have the call on that one as Open Door meets up with Kidron Central Christian. Should be an interesting game. I'm certainly intrigued to see what this Columbia team and this Open Door team can do. They're highly touted going into this one. Of course, Richmond Heights, the top seed in this bracket, but this should be a whole lot of fun to see these 2 teams in action for sure.
Could be a rematch, right, from the beginning of the season. I mean, that's a matchup of all the brackets that we've broken down throughout the course of the last 2 weeks here. That's a matchup that I've kind of been hoping for. I've kind of got those 2 teams highlighted. I think Open Door and Columbia could be a terrific showdown.
Yeah, for sure, especially the way Bailey Coleman, Brandon Coleman have been playing, Adam Ross for Columbia, and then over at Open Door, I mean, they've been getting tremendous leadership from Trey Brooks, Jared Bublanek, Carter Wright, Miles Hunt, to name a few guys. I mean, they for sure can score in big numbers with those teammates. Then on Saturday, I'm going to ask you to stay tuned to our website, WEOL.com, because we have some things that could happen depending on who ends up winning and things that could happen depending on who loses. So what I can tell you for now is we will have the Division I Elyria Catholic Sectional Championship game played between Lorain and either the winner of Berea or Midview on Wednesday. That's as much as we can tell you, but we could have as many as 4 games on Saturday if the Elyria Catholic girls win. We'll have their game in the afternoon as they take on, well, it would be the winner of the sectional champion, or pardon me, the district semifinal and the other side of that bracket on Saturday afternoon. So as many as 4 games on Saturday, as few as 1. Something will be coming your way on Saturday. The only one we know for sure, again, is that Lorain game. So it should be an exciting weekend of basketball for sure, Bull.
Should be a lot, and you know the beauty of this time of the year is the unpredictability. You just never know who's going to emerge. I mean, you look at that Division I Elyria Catholic bracket for on the boys' side of things here, and it sure looks like it's Lorain and everybody else. But again, that's the beauty of this time of the year. You just never know what's going to happen from one night to the next.
It's exciting. Bull, pleasure working with you here today. Really had some fun.
Yeah, pleasure working with you as well. You just can't get away from me, you poor guy.
Yeah. For those who don't know, you can hear us on WEOL as well every day from 3 to 6. Tim Alcorn will be back next week, so I believe it'll be him and I with you as he comes back from Goodyear, Arizona into this wonderful winter weather we've got going on in Northeast Ohio. Big thank you to Steve Mannheim, to Bruce Bishop behind the camera today. We'll see you next week on the Dr. Karen Kramer in the Paint Show.